come on guys, you already know what it is. It is I, your host, Simon Mashoe, and this is Vice Versa Live. And on today's show, I'm going to give you guys the cheat code on what companies actually want from you and what they're really looking for. Come on guys, let's go! Quite quickly, what is the cheat code? I've spoken a lot about skills and the execution of skills a lot in my videos because this is the metric of what companies, hiring managers, recruiters are generally looking for, because the execution of skills will lead to the results that's going to help the company achieve whatever it is they actually want to achieve. But there's an initial step before that, which is essential to you actually winning and actually improving faster. Yes, you can build skills, and skills will still hold a massive weight, but there is something else that really is the cheat code. Now, the cheat code I'm talking about is character. You know, if we was to draw like a triangle, skills will be the middle bit. It will be the middle bit, but the foundation or the base of it is actually character. Or you could say values. What are your values? Very similar to a company. You know, if you want to understand the company, a lot of the time you're going to find out what are their core values before you're even, potentially interested in even working for them or doing business with them. It's very similar to us as people. We need to also have core values, and whatever your core values are, you need to be able to stand by them. An essential part of who I am comes back to this quote my youth pastor used to say to me. He used to say to me, a person who believes or stands for nothing, that's it, stands for nothing, falls for everything. And I think this is the problem what happens in companies, because a lot of the time when they're hiring, they hire from skills, but the people who go on to do great things or essentially stay at the company are not the people with the most skills. It's actually the people with the best and most sincere characters. So I think before you even start applying for jobs and applying for work and start, going on a journey towards a particular place, you have to ask yourself, really truly ask yourself, who am I? And what do I stand for? Because once you can ask yourself that question, you can then start forming a value system, a belief system that will best serve you in acquiring more skills. And then on top of that, beliefs, which will then elevate you to, wherever it is you want to go. I think once you're able to establish those things, you then start to see, or not start to see, but you'll eventually start to ask yourself questions about your character and question about some of your value systems. And I think for me, what I have done are these steps, and I think it will best serve you. So the first thing I did was be like, okay, if there's a discrepancy in my character and there's a deficiency there, how can I change it? And that will go back to what are my habits that are supporting that deficiency, and then I will then be able to change it. Because essentially our minds are locked by our habits, and then our habits will create the result and create patterns that create our personality and character. So you want to be able to find the deficiency, and then for me, what I would do is I will look at somebody. I would look at somebody that I admire, or somebody that I really hold sincere in that area, and I will try to replicate what it is that they do, so much so that it just becomes part of me, and then I can mold it to my nature, and then it becomes my own. And then obviously the mind will want to refute it, as it does, because that's what the mind is set up to do, protect itself. But obviously, once you continue to do it over time, you'll then have the evidence, to allow your mind to be like, oh, okay, well, it is part of you, and then it will just be part of you. And once you're able to do those steps, you're able to identify the deficiency, you're able to find, influencers or people who you look up to, or role models, or people who are examples in that area. You'll then just copy what it is they do, literally copy what it is that they do. And then after time, you'll modify it to yourself. And then that becomes a belief and a value, and then a habit that then becomes your character. And once you're able to build yourself up and build the depth in you in terms of your belief and your character, your values, then the skills, your ability to learn and execute on skills, it deepens and widens in ways that are faster than you could ever imagine. And essentially, that's obviously going to help you in your pursuits to greatness and in the pursuits of your career. So, looking at that, you can see how that will change how even recruiters and hire managers are going to see you. Because a lot of the time, and the analogy I like to give is, recruiters like to pick the fruit from the tree. But what they really are looking for is how deep the roots really go. And that's what you want to do. You want to create so much deep roots that the fruit is just a fraction of the value of which you can bring to that company. I hope that helps. If in doubt, you do need help, and you do need support, and you do need further information on this, please drop some comments, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to explain and, really bring this thing more to light. That being said, I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. Use this, apply it, let me know how you feel, and I will see you all next week. You already know. Let's go!